in theory, you would hope that one day we could have a social media where the people in charge of it are totally unbiased. They're totally objective to free speech and the fact that free speech can. Because I'm on that. There's two sides of the spectrum, right? There's people who think that they should silence people. And there's people who think that they shouldn't ever. I don't think they ever should. I think anybody should go ahead and say anything on there, especially if you're going to have the Taliban on there. Twitter has porn, all that stuff. Like, who gives a fuck, right? Really, who cares? You can watch somebody get beheaded, but if you have, a doctor mention the word COVID, not so much anymore, but at one point, you could get your shit kicked off. Why? It's a slippery fucking slope. Like, the fact that people can go ahead and decide subjectively, hey, this is okay to say. It's dangerous. It is dangerous. And for people who don't think it's dangerous, you're fucking sick in the head. You are. I am against censorship of all kinds. I've always been. Ever since I heard about Led Zeppelin. When Led Zeppelin was being told by a record company they had to do this to their album or do that. And they said, no, motherfuckers, fuck you. We're not dropping it. We're the biggest band in the world. We don't have to do shit. You guys can't tell us. But that's the thing. You got to have the leverage. You got to have an island where you can bang kids and bring all type of high-level people, and you got that kind of dirt on people, you can do whatever you want. If you build an empire of any kind, doesn't matter what kind of empire, you can do pretty much whatever you want with impunity. Right? It's about having an independence. And so many people use Twitter. And so much terrible shit is put on Twitter. Stuff that's worse than the stuff that gets patched or gets taken down or people's whatever. You know what I'm saying? People get banned off Twitter. People's tweets get taken down. Instagram posts get taken down. All different kinds of things. I'm pretty sure one of my posts on Instagram got taken down because we said something about vaccines or some shit. It got flagged or something. Like, it's nuts. It really is nuts, you know? But how the fuck is Elon just going to go ahead and take that on? He said he was going to give $43 billion. He made a bid for $43 billion for Twitter. I don't know if that's a steal. I don't know how handsome that is of a deal. I mean, $43 billion for anything. You better hope that this motherfucker isn't a psycho. Right? You better hope that this guy is not gonna go ahead on there and now everybody's getting Tesla commercials on their thing. You know, and I don't think that would happen, right? Elon Musk seems to be genuinely concerned with the state of humanity, which is interesting, right? Like, imagine being so fucking smart that all the time you're thinking of ways to actively change the way that we live as humans. Like, that's pretty nuts. You got to be a pretty high-level fucking person. Because when you consider how many of us that are out there that aren't able to do that at all, we don't have the brain power, we don't have the means, that motherfucker is richer than anybody. Like that, he's right, he's the richest motherfucker in the world right now. I don't know. The known world, right? He's got $43 billion to throw on a company that he's just going to buy, a monstrous company. If Elon Musk owns Twitter, I mean, there's got to be. You'd hope that there is hope, you know, because for whatever reason that motherfucker gets people excited. He does. He gets people excited. That guy. This isn't my thing, but Tim Dillon said it. That guy is a cult leader. Being a Tesla owner is like, it's something to brag about. It's something to talk about. And people are like, wow, you own a Tesla? How is it? How's the Tesla go? It's like, whoa, zoom, zoom. There's no gears. There's nothing. It's so fast. And Elon, he's such a genius. People are so behind this motherfucker because he's the only intellectual we got. Imagine being an intellectual today. You'd think it would be easier. There's so much information. Anybody can learn anything. But nobody is doing what that motherfucker is doing. Think about it. All the people that created crazy, revolutionary, humanity-changing type shit were back in a time when there was nothing to do but die of hunger or think. Literally. You died of hunger or you've thawed all day until you figured out, hey, this will make our lives a little bit easier. And then now you got a guy who created a wheel. And then now you got a guy who discovered how to make fire. And then and now we're at a place where we need that same visionary to go on a public forum, a monstrous public forum that has millions and millions of people on it daily, hundreds of millions of people on it daily, saying nonsense, watching nonsense, just spewing these disgusting opinions and these disgusting takes of stuff that they have no business talking about, right? Think about it. In the olden times, the old townspeople were just fucking morons, right? And we're not that far from that today, right? The people who go and listen to the town crier, they hear it one way, they come back and they say it another fucking way because they interpret it all wrong, you know? It's like when Bill Burr was doing his special and he said something about consent or whatever, and the guy's like, I'm going to ask for consent. And he's like, listen, you didn't hear a fucking thing that I just said to you, did I? You didn't hear a goddamn thing that I had just mentioned to you. And that's what a place like Twitter is. It's like telephone. It's also a place where people credible people can go on there and talk. But if you're too credible and you start saying things that is against the narrative, then good luck. You know, good luck. It's a place where you hope that you could see someone's head get chopped off, but you better not hear anyone talk about going to a Denny's without 6 vaccinations. If you're on Twitter, you want to see a girl stick a dildo to her shower door and back into it for 3 minutes, that's what you want to be able to go on Twitter for. But if you go ahead on there and you make a claim about genders, that needs to get fucking wiped off. An opinion that has a base, right? It's not a baseless opinion. It's just one that people don't agree with. It's about gender. It's about war. It's about race. It's about whatever. Something that you don't agree with. You don't know where that person came from. You don't know how they were raised. Yes, they might be a racist fucking piece of shit, but we can't stop them from saying that, because then you can stop someone else from saying something that has a legitimate point but might be teetering, right? And I'm not saying anyone that is teetering on racism is good. I'm not saying that. Anybody that's racist in my fucking mind, I don't agree with at all. I don't agree with them at all, but I do agree that they should be able to speak. They should be able to talk, especially on a fucking stupid thing like Twitter. Anybody can say anything. Yes, okay, you can incite violence. Big fucking deal. They don't incite violence on the news. They've never incited violence on the news, showing how well people are making off in riots. You know, this place got robbed of all of their merchandise, Phil. All of them are $300,000 of merchandise. Well, those thieves probably did pretty fucking good. Those motherfuckers are sitting at home watching their handiwork on their new television that they just got. They must have done pretty good. You know that's motivating people. People in the area, there's riots going on. Oh, shit. Let me grab my hat. Let me grab my galoshes. It's raining. It's raining fire. I want to go out, and I want to be a part of this. No.